Okay, let's talk about AI. And I mean, let's forget the wild sci-fi stuff for a minute. The reality is AI is already here. It's quietly reshaping how we work, how we create, pretty much everything. But the real revolution, that's just getting started. By 2026, the entire AI landscape is going to look completely different. So we're going to count down the 9 biggest trends that are going to define that future. These are the shifts that really matter.
First, let's just get a sense of the scale here, because this isn't some niche tech for developers. We're talking about a future where a staggering 80% of all work, your job, my job, is going to be touched by AI in some way. And to be really clear, this isn't about robots taking over. It's about changing the actual tasks that we all do every single day.
And, when you have a shift in work that massive, the money follows. The global AI market is on track to just explode past $400 billion. That's why this isn't just a story for tech geeks anymore. This is a massive headline for the entire global economy.
All right, so let's kick off our countdown. This first set of trends, numbers 9, 8, and 7, they're all about the most personal part of this whole story, how we, as people, actually talk to and interact with AI. This is where the human meets the machine.
Starting us off at number 9, AI is finally getting a memory. For years, every single time you talk to an AI, it was like meeting a stranger. You had to start all over again. Well, that's ending. We're now moving to AI that's persistent and personal. Tools that actually remember who you are, what you're working on, and what you talked about last time.
And it turns out we've all been desperate for this. A huge 82% of us actually want an AI that remembers our conversations. And why? Well, think about it. It's because it means you don't have to repeat yourself a dozen times. You don't have to re-explain your whole project from scratch. It just completely changes the game from a bunch of one-off questions to a real, continuous conversation.
Coming in at number 8, we're seeing AI get a major promotion. It's moving out of the boardroom and into the war room. Seriously, it's not just about which company has the coolest new algorithm anymore. Now it's about which nation has the most powerful AI strategy.
And this new global competition has its own version of natural resources. The big world powers, they're in an all-out race to lock down advanced computer chips, build these absolutely massive data centers, and of course, snap up all the top talent. This is what 21st century geopolitics looks like. And believe me, the countries that win this race are going to be writing the rules for a long, long time.
All right, at number 7, AI is basically growing eyes and ears. For what feels like forever, our main way of talking to AI has been through a keyboard, right? Tapping away? Well, that is changing, and it's changing fast. AI is now learning to see, to hear, and to understand the world in a way that feels a lot more, human.
And we're already seeing this in how we act. I mean, sure, more than half of us use voice AI every week, but that's not the really explosive number here. The use of AI that can actually understand video has jumped by a mind-blowing 670%. That is huge. What it means is that AI is becoming less of a simple tool we just type commands into, and more like an aware assistant that can actually perceive the world right along with us.
Okay, for our next chunk of trends, we're going to see what happens when AI breaks out of our screens. This is where it starts to move into the physical world, and you guessed it, the world of commerce.
At number 6, AI is getting a body. For most of its life, AI has just been code living inside a computer. But that line is getting super blurry now, as AI starts to control things in the real world, in our factories, our warehouses, and our supply chains.
And you better believe the money is pouring in. The market for humanoid robots alone is projected to hit an incredible $38 billion by 2030. But look, this isn't about some sci-fi movie. This is about pure economics and practicality. It's about building machines that can work right alongside people on a factory floor, totally changing what physical work even means.
Trend number 5 is a surprise to absolutely no one. The ads are coming. I mean, it's inevitable, right? As these AI tools become our new go-to places for information, our new search engines, basically, they've got to have a business model. And right now, advertising is the clear favorite.
And it looks like most of us are okay with that trade-off. About 58% of people say, yeah, I'll put up with some ads if it means I can use these amazing tools for free. We saw this exact same story play out with search and social media. The billion-dollar question, though, is can these companies slip ads in without wrecking the entire experience? We'll see.
Now, trend number 4 is a really big deal for how we actually talk to AI. For the last couple of years, it's all been about prompt engineering, right? This dark art of writing the perfect little sentence to trick the AI into giving you what you want. Well, that era is coming to a close. The new king isn't the prompt anymore, it's context. So the old way was all about trying to find that one magic command. The new way, it's about giving the AI the whole story. Instead of just one clever sentence, you can now drop in entire documents, huge spreadsheets, long email chains, and the AI can make sense of all of it at once.
And the reason this is happening is just wild. The amount of information an AI can hold in its head at one time, what we call its context window, has grown by 2,500% in just a year and a half. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a total reinvention. It means the advantage is no longer about who can write the cleverest prompt. It's about who can feed the AI the best, most complete information.
Okay, we've made it to our final 3 trends. And this section is the most important one because these trends aren't just about cool new tools. They are fundamentally rewriting the rules for how we work and where value actually comes from.
Coming in at number 3, that big wall between the tech people and the idea people. It's starting to crumble. Thanks to AI-powered tools and no-code platforms, you don't have to be a trained engineer anymore to build and launch real software. This whole world is opening up.
And this isn't just some theory. Check this out. Over half of all new applications are now being built by what we call citizen developers. These are people who have great ideas but no formal coding background. Now, this doesn't mean pro developers are going away, but it does mean the number of people who can create things just got a whole lot bigger.
At number 2, we get a much-needed reality check. You know, all the early hype was about these fully autonomous AI agents that would just go off and do everything for us. But what we're actually seeing work in the real world is a totally different model. Structured AI workflows that always keep a human in the loop. The AI assists the person, it doesn't replace them.
And the data on this is crystal clear. That dream of a set it and forget it AI just isn't reliable enough yet. The things that are actually working, the projects that are succeeding, are almost all built on this idea of human-AI collaboration, where the person has the final say. For right now, and for the next few years at least, collaboration is absolutely crushing full automation.
And that brings us to our number 1 trend. But before I reveal it, look at this number. The price you pay to access the best AI models in the world has dropped by 80% since just 2023. Raw intelligence is becoming unbelievably cheap. It's becoming a commodity, almost like electricity.
So, this leads us to what is probably the single most important question in the entire field of AI right now. If the raw intelligence itself is getting cheap, then where does the value come from? I mean, what are companies even competing on anymore?
And here's the answer. The number 1 trend for 2026 is this. The AI model itself is no longer the most important part. The real advantage, the thing that makes you win, is the system you build around the model. It all comes down to the quality of your data, the smart design of your workflow, how well you handle context, and of course, the user experience you create.
So if you take away one thing about the future of AI, let it be this. Success is no longer about having the biggest, baddest AI model. It's about building the smartest, most effective system to actually use that intelligence.
When you look at all these trends together, it becomes pretty clear. The question isn't if AI is going to change your job anymore, the only question is how. The tools are getting cheaper, they're getting smarter, they're getting more accessible to everyone. So the real question we should all be asking is, what are you going to build with them?
Thank you. Share and subscribe to Learn AI for more AI insights.